A lot of people have been coming up to me and asking me to talk about what married life is like, what marriage is like, what getting married is like. To be honest, they've come to the right place because I have a lot of experience, knowledge, and wisdom on the topic. Of course, I'm joking, and there are people who've got 30 years or 50 years more than I do. But I thought I'd share some of my experiences and things that I encountered that if you're getting married or you are married, maybe you can pick up and you can learn from and benefit from. So stick around. Obviously, I wanted to make this video in private, away from prying eyes, but once you're married, there's a certain level of independence and privacy that is not respected by certain people. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is when I got married was the culture. Okay, I mentioned in the last episode that I'm Bengali, but of course I'm Muslim as well. So there are parts of culture that I like. Okay, there are beautiful parts of culture. Contrary to popular belief that I am a big hater of culture, I don't hate culture. I just think when you prioritize culture over religion, I think that's just a bit mad, you know. Like, I like the clothes, I like the food, I like the certain events and certain way and certain, you know, mannerisms that we have in our culture that I think are really nice. But when it contradicts or when it starts clashing with the religious side of things, I think that's when we need to just scrap it a little bit and we need to just leave it to the side. Okay, so when it comes to marriage or getting married, I think culture plays a huge part, like especially when it comes to draining your bank account. Okay, now alhamdulillah, with my wedding we didn't have to drain my bank account too much. Okay, so you know, like for example, you have the dowry money that you give to the bride. I gave my dowry obviously, but they, in culture, you have this thing called security money, and that's another thousands and thousands of pound, and then obviously you give other gifts. And I stuck to the gifts and I stuck to the dowry, but this extra security money, I didn't do that because I just think, what's the point of the dowry then? The second thing, I think Islam makes things, when it comes to marriage, it makes it very easy. So you need to be physically mature, you need to be mentally mature, and the third thing is you need to be financially secure. Marriage is a simple thing, so make it simple, make it financially simple. Don't spend too much, don't be extravagant, don't block off motorways with your fancy cars. Keep the event simple, the way that it happens, keep it simple, and that's about it, to be honest. Yeah, alhamdulillah, my wedding was simple, and there was nothing extravagant about it. It didn't rinse the bank, it didn't, explode all my finances, and I was in a good situation. It just keeps life so simple and easy. Like, you want to get married, you want to do such a huge thing in your life, you want to do it relaxed, you want to do it with the least expenditure. You don't want to start marriage off, yeah, and your bank is blowing up, your overdraft has an overdraft, and your credit card has got a credit card to cover that credit card, and then you're taking a loan to cover all your debt. Like, you don't want to do this stuff. You want to start marriage off living life, going on holidays, buying fresh stuff, new stuff. You're in that honeymoon period and you want to live your life. The best way to get married, if you want to do that stuff, keep the wedding, I won't say cheap because cheap has bad connotations, but keep it affordable and keep it simple and just start your life together. What is the point? I never understood the point of doing a 100k wedding or 60k wedding, even, or 30k wedding, and then afterwards you're starting your life off like absolute tramps. I've never understood that. Stop it. Unless you don't want to, then you don't need to stop it. Majority of people, the reason why they have such extravagant weddings and stuff is because of what other people will say. It comes from a place which my whole life I've experienced. Okay, so whether it's my GCSEs or degree or becoming Hafiz or how I read Quran or whatever, there's always someone who has to have an opinion. Okay, and majority of these opinions are useless, and if they're not useless, they're just in poor taste. So with weddings, how could I imagine, and how can you imagine, that you are going to get married and do one of the biggest decisions in your life and events of your life, and people aren't going to have an opinion? Very naive, guys. With the wedding, everyone's got an opinion. Some people want to do it traditionally and they want to make it a cultural festival. Other people want to make it a religious spectacle. Other people just want to do it their way. Some people want to do it for the vibes. Some people want to do it for the aesthetics. Some people want good pictures for Instagram. Everyone's got something that they want. Okay, I'm gonna break it down for you because I've done it now. I've got the experience. Unlike the last two videos I made on marriage and relationships, okay, I now have experience of what it's like and what it takes to get married. Okay, guys, so learn. Take a moment, just take a deep breath and let's learn together. The wedding day is about you, and the wedding day is about your wife, or if you're a woman watching this, it's about you and it's about your husband. The wedding day is not about anyone else. People are going to give you opinions, what the outfit should look like, what the decoration should look like, what food should be served, what dessert should be given. That's all fine. There's nothing wrong with people giving their opinion. They can give an opinion on how simple the wedding should be, or how extravagant it should be, or how whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. You can take and absorb all these opinions, but the decision is yours. Stressing out leading up to the wedding, stressing out when you're getting married, on the day of the wedding, crying your heart out because, oh my god, this is going wrong and that person's angry. What the hell? You're there to get married. You're there to literally complete a huge part of your faith, a huge part of your life. You don't have time to worry about what kind of dessert they're serving. Organize it, say what you want, say how you want it, because your opinion and what you want is the most important. And alhamdulillah, when it came to my wedding, that's one thing that I didn't even want that much, to be honest. It was more about the bride or her family, what they wanted, but I was happy to accommodate, because end of the day I didn't care that much. I just wanted it simple. As long as I'm getting to say I do at the end of the day or at the start of the day, and I look quite aesthetic, maybe I get a few gifts here and there, I didn't mind the rest of it. Do you know what I mean? So people will distract you and they'll make it about what it looks like or what it should be like and stuff. Blank them, block them out. What does the Quran say about marriage? Allah's made a spouse for you, he's made a partner for you so that you can find tranquility and peace. And you're going to start the first day of your tranquility and peace stressing out and tearing your hair out. If you want to do that, go for it, but personally I don't have the time. And then we move on to the final thing, okay, that I want to talk about: additional or outside interference. Let's just be realistic here, okay? Let's just talk real for a moment. In life, you have people who are happy for you. You have people who are ambitious for you. I mean, they want to see you succeed. They have big hopes and dreams of what your potential look like and what you want to achieve, blah blah blah. And then you have people who are jealous, okay? When it comes to your wedding, you will have all types of these people around you and surrounding you, but the person or the people that you need to watch out for the most is the people who want you to have problems and the people who are jealous of you. There are people who are jealous for various reasons. There's people who are not married yet, maybe they just can't handle seeing that, or maybe there's people who are married and their wedding wasn't like that, so they want your wedding to also not be a certain way. Or there's people who, there's just too many examples, okay? How you meant to explain jealousy, if I'm being honest, yeah? But jealousy exists and we need to be realistic, okay? You're getting married, there's people making you cry or making you stress because they're jealous and they're trying to get involved and they're trying to ruin things. They exist, okay? You need to blank them out, you need to block them out from getting involved, and you need to make sure that, you know what, at the end of the day, forget these lot. They're not important, they're not gonna change anything, they're not gonna do anything. They'll yap a little bit, I just need to blank them out. And then after you move on, you get your wedding day done. Like I said before, okay, it's meant to be the thing that brings you the most peace and tranquility, and you're gonna start it off with negativity for what and for who? And these people, these voices, like, they might seem loud right now, but once you're married, they just disappear anyway. Like, you don't see them, you don't hear them, you know, you might see them randomly on occasion here or there, but apart from that, like, they're not important. So block them out, blank them out, don't give them any attention, and focus on your wedding, because that's the most important thing. To those outside interferers and to those people who are jealous, your time maybe hasn't come yet. Wait your turn, okay? And maybe you've already had your time and it didn't happen a certain way and you haven't gotten over it. For you, I'll just say this, yeah? Allah has a plan for everyone. Allah has a way that he wants everyone to experience stuff. There's good in everything, okay? Look for that good. Instead of trying to make someone else's good turn into bad, look for that good. And if you can't do any of these things, get a life. Now, to summarize this part, when you get married, it's important to understand it's not black and white. It's not pre-packed and pre-prepared that you're just going to get married. Everyone's circumstance, everyone's situation is different. You know, you can't give some blanket advice that's going to just magically cover everyone. Okay, everyone's situation is different, so go along with the flow. But remember a couple of important things. It's your day, you and your partner's day. It's it's to make you peaceful, feel peaceful and tranquil and give you happiness. So make sure it's doing that. And afterwards, the wedding day isn't even the beginning. The beginning hasn't even begun. You know, you still have the whole marriage to do. So don't give too much focus with your finances, your mental side on the wedding day itself, and neglect the whole lifetime that you have waiting for you ahead. Make sure you prepare properly for that. For the next part of this video, I've had one of my loyal subscribers prepare some questions for me on what they would like to know about marriage, and hopefully that's what you would also like to know about marriage. Now, I would give them a shout out, but if you would like a shout out on this channel, you need to give me money. So the first question that they have is, what are the pros and cons of marriage? So the pros, obviously, you've got a partner for life. um yeah, you have a companion, you have a partner, things to share with, things to build together. You got projects that you can work on. When you go out, you have someone you always can rely on to go out with you. Probably it's a remedy for loneliness, let's just say. Okay, when you're married, you get married, you have a partner who you now can enjoy life with. Those are just some of the pros. Now the cons, I wouldn't really call them cons. I think it's like things that you need to adjust to. And the thing that I would say the most is like routine and timetable. Okay, that is the biggest thing for me that you have to adjust to in a marriage. Okay, for example, I wake up early, my wife doesn't wake up as early, or I want to do things before marriage. I had a certain day that I did my laundry, or certain time, and a certain time that I watch TV, the certain time I record videos, and now there's interference. There's certain times I want to play video games, and obviously the time doesn't match because we clash on the TV, even though there might even be other sources of media that maybe while I'm playing my games they could watch on that device, but for some reason that doesn't work, or for some reason they also need to use that TV at that time. Obviously I'm joking, obviously none of that exists, and there's no one behind the camera pointing a gun at me right now and threatening to not give me dinner today. Obviously I made all of that stuff up, but the adjustment, definitely timetabling, routine. Me personally, if I didn't have the routine, like if I didn't work at the beginning of marriage on fixing my routine so it kind of blends with my wife's routine and stuff like that, and my timetable, I think I would have gone crazy, because I like when I'm on it, I do follow my timetable in a very, like, not strict but methodical way. I like doing things at a certain time and a certain way, and if I didn't fix that timetable and collaborate, there would be more cons, let's just say. The second question we have is, what is the role of a wife and husband in marriage? Ooh, okay, so I've always believed the role of a husband is to be a provider, a protector, and a problem solver. A provider because you're the man. There's certain responsibilities that you have and certain characteristics you have that a woman doesn't, or certain things a woman has that she is better suited to that a man can't do. So you provide, okay, you work. Now it doesn't mean that women can't work. Women can work, you can have your own job, blah blah blah, bring your own money in. And then obviously you have the protector, because you should protect your family, you should protect your wife. And the problem solver, because your wife comes up with a lot of problems, and she's always got problems with stuff and you need to solve them. So I always thought that about husband, but obviously that's why I think about what husband should be. What wives should be or what the wife should be is emotional regulator. I think being caring, warm, loving, keeping the house warm, that's something that a wife should do. And to be honest, I said all three of her ones in one go. So I just think that's what I thought initially when I got married. That's what I was thinking that a husband is and a wife is. But I've learned that after you get married, there are times you adapt. There are times that you kind of switch the roles. Maybe I'm having a bad day, maybe they're having a bad day, I need to be the emotional regulator, and so on and so forth. It's not your roles, as some people discuss, and some people preach that a husband has a role and a wife has a role. You both have a role of being 100% to one another, and that 100% can take many forms. It can take the protector form, it can take the provider form, it can take the emotional side form, and it can take the problem solver form, whatever. But you do need to work together, because at the end of the day, marriage is chaos. Because who knew sharing your life with someone else is going to be, you don't really expect that it's going to be such a huge clash, because sometimes it is a clash. It's not always just smooth sailing. It's just not, it doesn't exist. If you have siblings, you will know you can't even get along with your siblings every day. So how are you just going to get along with this random person who's entered your life and you're living your life with for the rest of your life, and you're just going to get along with them? You have to put in effort. That's just reality. How has marriage changed me? I think it made me more patient. I think it made me a bit more enthusiastic towards stuff. Like, I like going out a little bit more now than I did before. I love shopping. I love spending money on restaurants. Yeah. And I think it makes me take my health a lot more seriously than before. because before marriage, let's say I didn't want to eat or something, now I have no choice but to become fat. So, and then what are you looking forward to in your marriage? What everyone kind of looks forward to, isn't it? Like children. I keep mentioning buying a house, so buying a house and getting closer to Allah together. I'm looking forward to that. Advice for newlyweds, those looking to get married, or advice for married couples in general. Okay. Well, proper serious level, isn't it? That loyal subscriber. I wonder where your head is at right now. Why are you wondering about all this, huh? Anyway, first of all, advice for newlyweds and all this stuff. The whole thing, whether you're single, whether you're getting married, whether you're married, okay? Patience. You have to be patient, and there's a level of humility that you must develop, okay? If you are some big-headed person and you think it's your way or the highway, it doesn't work like that. There are times you're going to take the win, and there are times you have to take the L. That's just how life works. And to be honest, you're better off for it, okay? If you're going to have to take the L with someone, you should take the L with your partner. Today, I'm only taking the W, and I don't care how much you keep staring at me behind the camera. I'm not taking the L. You will make me dinner. Sorry, guys, just got sidetracked there. The second thing is, don't focus on chaos, okay? Like I said, every part of your life has chaos, okay? You don't focus on the chaos. You focus on what happens after the chaos calms down, okay? This is something I learned. There's time you have friction. You're like, hey, I don't agree on this, blah, blah, blah. Or, no, that's not how I want things to do that. And maybe it goes messed up. Maybe you have a huge argument, or maybe you have some sort of fight. It's not the fight that you should focus on. Oh, I can't believe they swore at me, or they shouted at me. Oh, I can't believe they raised their voice. That's not what you should focus on. What you should focus on is after they did all that craziness, and after all that chaos happened, what happened afterwards? Did we both chill out? Did we both be like, okay, that's silly, let's just calm down, let's just sort it out together? Or did you not carry on for another 2-3 days? If you're carrying it on for another 2-3 days, or 2-3 hours even, why are you doing that? You're with your life partner, you're with someone who you're meant to share the rest of your life with. Why are you gonna waste your time? You're fighting over something that you both agree on in the first place, meaning, like, let's say you're fighting over curtains, okay? Which, yeah, I've fought over curtains, okay? You're fighting over curtains, what kind of style it should be. Should it be blackout curtains, or should it be, I don't know, look aesthetically pleasing or whatever? And you're fighting over curtains, and then in the end, one of you gets their way and the other one doesn't. End of the day, you're getting curtains, or you're getting this thing to design your house. You got a shared goal in mind. You're not going to agree on everything, and that's fine. But a lot of people, they're like, oh, I don't think I'm compatible with my wife. I don't think I'm compatible with my husband. Why? Because you had an argument. Shut up, man. Grow up. That's not how life works. Life works. There are agreements, there are disagreements, there are lines that people draw, and yeah, some lines you're not allowed to cross, and other lines you are allowed to cross. Learn to live with it. Learn, grow. I'm not talking about obviously excessive things. If someone's abusing or someone's doing that, that's totally out of the question. I'm talking about regular disagreements, regular things that people just are so quick to say, oh, I don't think we're actually compatible. Oh, I don't think we actually agree on the same things. I don't think we like the same How do you know? Do you know what I mean? So be patient. Don't let the chaos of marriage or a situation in marriage define what your marriage is. Let the calm side, when you're calm, when you're relaxed, when you're both level-headed and talking, communicating properly, that's what you should judge your marriage on, okay? And then obviously that's my next point, communicating. Make sure you talk to one another. If there's someone you're going to tell your secrets to, if there's someone you're going to share your feelings with, emotions, blunt thoughts, it's going to be your partner, it's going to be your husband or your wife. I have a rule personally for myself, is I'm never going to share my marital issues or problems or whatever with some next person down the road. I'm not going to share it with family members and cousins and aunties. I don't need to do that. Do you know what I mean? If I've got a problem with my partner, I'm going to say to my partner, hey, I've got a problem with you. That's it. Put on the boxing gloves. Let's just fight. That's it. Let's just sort it out. Anyway, sorry, I got sidetracked again. If you're going to tell someone how you're feeling bad, you're feeling angry, you're feeling upset or something, tell the person you're upset with. Why are you going to tell someone else that they sympathize with you and they give some advice? They're not even married most of the time, or they are married and they don't even know how to do their own marriage, and you're going to seek advice from them. Like, get a grip, grow up. That's why I'm happy that I got married at the age that I got married at, because I'm grown up enough to understand that, no, I got an issue. I'm not going to go around telling stuff to other people to fix my issue. I can fix the issue myself. And if I don't if I can't fix the issue myself, I'm going to be patient, see how to fix that problem, how to find a solution to that problem, and then I'll fix it eventually, before I go turn to another, which is like the last resort. That is not an option personally that I have. Advice for relationship with in-laws. Okay, and this advice, I think, if you have made it this far in the video, please stick around for this advice. Leave a like and make sure you comment your advice. Your in-laws, and most people don't understand this, but your in-laws are now your family. Okay, they're your family in-law, your father-in-law, mother-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law. If your in-laws are your family, the way that you would treat your family, you should treat them. There's probably going to be awkwardness, there's probably going to be certain lines and stuff that you don't know, you're not involved in yet. But if you start separating your in-laws out, that no, I don't really want to be that close to them, or I don't want to be this, I don't want to be that. And by that, I'm talking about if you are an in-law to someone, so like let's say you're a brother-in-law or you're a mother-in-law to someone, this also applies to you. Once you have that in-law, whether it's the new bride or groom, or it's you know, your father-in-law, sister-in-law, like I said, you need to understand that that's your family now. If a new bride has come to the house, she should be treated like a regular member of the family, because she's an extension of your son or your brother. If a new groom comes to the family, he should be treated like he's one of the family, because why? He's an extension of your daughter or your sister. People don't understand that, and I feel like most of the friction in Asian communities when it comes to in-laws is the bride goes to the groom's family and lives with them, okay, and then the bride can't handle, you know, she has to share a certain lifestyle with them and stuff like that. That's also not good, you know what I mean? Like, you've gone into that man's family, that man, he's lived with their family, they've known him since birth, they've spent a lifetime, and now suddenly because there's certain things that they're different, you don't understand it, so you want to pull your husband away. That's not correct. And at the same time, it could be the groom, maybe your wife's family is a certain way and you're not used to that certain way, and you know, you start saying to your wife, nah, I don't really want you to be like that with your family, I want you to live mine. It doesn't work like that, you know what I mean? Like, both families have their history, both families have their internal family culture, both families have their own way of speaking, both families have their own way of even solving problems. When you are new to that new family, it's important that you understand what those cultures look like, what those behaviors look like. Take your time to get to know them, take your time to understand one another, and then those two families, you guys are the bridge to, you know, bring those two families close together. That's my advice with in-laws. And also, it's not good as well to clog up with one another. Give each other space. I'm saying obviously people who go and live with their in-laws and stuff, but give each other space. If you're an in-law to someone, give them space, because we call it a family tree, okay? And if you gathered a couple of branches together, you see those branches break because they're too close. They don't need to be that close. But a family tree which has a strong foundation and the branches split out, that is what you call a proper family tree, okay? And that's how we should all, you know, endeavor to be. You got the main body, which is family, and you split off into your branches, your own parts, your own desires, your own wants, your own adventures, but you're still all part of the family. I think that's the best way to be with in-laws, and that's the best way to keep families together. You've been watching Lads Talk, and that is my advice that I can share with you at present after 1 year about marriage, getting married, and being the best husband. May Allah allow us to all have tranquility and peace in our lives. And if you have found any tranquility and peace from watching this video, you know what to do. You need to subscribe, like, and comment down something. Maybe if you have some advice as a married person or a person getting married and you have some advice for me or others watching this channel, put your advice in the comments below. And until next time, thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. And yeah, until next time, bye.